All right, guys, welcome to I'll See You at Help. This week we have Chicago comedian Drew on. She runs undergrad in Chicago. It's a great show. And she's also, would you call yourself a depression expert? Like
Yeah,
OG?
I'm glad this is the episode you brought me onto the pod.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
I
the
was
first
thinking
person,
of-
you're like, none other than her. Yeah, of course.
I was like, if anyone knows about tears, it's Drew.
Yeah.
And I got you on. You're not like these pussies. I mean, you've done time, Is that what you call That's the coolest way to refer being in a psych ward, is doing time.
Oh, yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
been to a psych ward?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I like how you said, we should be in one. That's
Yeah.
the only difference is she
Of
got
course,
caught.
Of course I have.
Someone
I've
called
been,
you
You know
out
what?
of it.
I've been in a like I was in, because I went to college at Denver for a little bit, and I was in a Denver psych ward, and that shit was,
Is it
dude,
even real, or you're just playing hacky sack?
like,
It's
because
not
I was
even-
in the kid, when I was younger, I was in one for depression, and then when I went to Denver, there was a,
You're bringing dangerous people on this podcast, man. We got some
oh yeah, no,
Who's
dude,
coming?
this one dude got
I first got
sedated.
out of the joint.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah,
black
like a
and white
hole in
thinking.
my throat.
They caught me 40 pounds of black and white thinking. It wasn't living in the moment at all.
I feel like the Denver psych ward has to be a lot nicer than the
Yeah, I think
Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
The
no.
Well,
Chicago
psych
psych
ward is
ward.
funny.
Well, I
I mean,
think
you
it's
gotta go
because
insane here, right? Everybody, Chicago psych ward is the bus stop.
Yeah, it's just a red line 75th Street. Yeah, it's not even a...
yeah, we just like all walked in together.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we don't feel good.
Yeah.
No, the one in Denver was actually more fucked up for me because when I was 17, I was in like the under 18 one for depression. So that was like kids, which was also pretty
Wait,
fucked
You
up.
have, like,
so-
kids' toys?
So,
Everyone
were you,
just trying to cut
so
themselves.
you've been in one in Denver and
and
outside?
in Chicago,
Oh,
yeah. And,
okay.
Look how Cole's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
yeah. You're like, we're strapping
you're a
in here.
crazy person.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna scoot a little farther away on the couch.
Oh, Cole's just like hiding all the sharp objects in the house. She's like, I don't know. Is the mic a trigger? She might hang herself with the mic.
Yeah, just start like slowly.
Yeah.
wrapping it,
Just-
It's fun to see somebody that scares the psychopath that is Cole.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like, this is not good.
He found his weakness.
That'd be great. We just tried it. This whole episode is actually trying to get Cole to admit to the murder, so he
Yeah.
can finally have like the police bust in.
Like, how do we make him feel more vulnerable?
Yeah.
How do we do that?
It's like, speaking of psych wards, guys, I was feeling a little off and then found someone jogging alone
Oh
the
my
other week.
God.
So how was which one did you like better? You were there for depression, right?
Yeah, the Chicago one I liked, but the one in Denver was like, dude, I got sent there by I dove for a little bit, so I did college sports, and that was kind of what made me
Was
go.
the diving just an open mic for suicide?
Yeah, I was like,
it
can you?
just-
Yeah, I have this joke about it. I was like, I should have drained the pool before I went to practice. I was like, that would have been a better way. But
Like,
no.
we've never seen someone so dedicated to diving.
Yeah.
We've never.
yeah.
No.
She came here 4 hours before. Yeah. The Denver one was crazy for me. I don't know what it was, but there was like, you know how it's literally like jail. Like you get like a phone call a day. So you like,
Wait,
like
how did they do? They Baker Act? Did you get Baker acted?
what?
Baker acted? It's just shit. In Florida, they Baker Act you. So
So that's like when somebody else commits you.
yeah, so basically they can call the cops
Oh.
and they show up. Police show up to your house.
Can you do that for?
You could
Depression?
do that. Yeah, well, because of your
You
threat
can
to
do
your
it.
harm
Yeah,
and
'cause
self.
a
and
friend of
others.
mine, a friend of mine back home just had it. So basically, what they do is if you tell me you're gonna fucking kill yourself, I call the cops.
Would never.
They Baker Act you,
Every day.
and they show
Yeah.
up and every time we have a drink,
Yeah,
they show up. They just posted out.
Nobody cares.
Posted outside a home tavern, but they fucking cops show up. Basically, they say like, I know in Florida, it's like if you come voluntarily, then you only have to stay for 2 days. But if you don't, then they will take you, and then you have to stay for like 3 or 4.
Right.
But after that,
No, they kind
feel
of
like
lay it
that?
right out.
So for me, I don't really know, but one time my mom picked me up. I was like, I can't. I was like, I don't belong here. Like I didn't feel.
How long were you there for?
Yeah. I was
Months?
when I was no. When I was like in Chicago, when I was in high school, I was only there for I wasn't there for 6 days. And then
That's
the one in
long.
Denver, I was there for like 2 days. My mom was flying in coincidentally to come watch him meet, which was good, so that I could, do you know what I'm saying? And then she's like picked me up at a hospital, which is just ironic. But
Yeah.
she's like, we knew what was going on.
Good.
But
Your
yeah.
mom flew in to watch a high school track event.
No. No.
Not even track, swim.
No, yeah. Have you been
Like, are we sure she's the one who needs to be in an
Yeah,
institution?
yeah.
I think your mom should be in an institution.
No. I dove at University of Denver, so she like came in
It's kind of
for
a big
me.
deal.
Yeah.
I got it. You're like really.
Yeah.
All right, UIC. Okay,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
fucking handle
I
this.
was Division 1, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Were you really?
Yeah.
And now you're on
Let me
this
just start
podcast.
shaking. We're just
Yeah.
Now you're on this podcast.
Yeah,
Look
of
how the
course.
mighty have fallen.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
He's about to be institutionalized.
Yeah,
again.
this-
Halfway through the
you
pod,
dove-
we're gonna have to call 911.
yeah.
your-
I mean,
your
we are
life-
really
your
at a
life took a
hospital
dive.
location. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went to a Division I college athlete. Now you're here. That was a dive. You're really committed.
Yeah, you're professional, Drew.
Yeah. Yeah. Just working my way.
You're gonna
up.
just throw the hands down and
Oh my god.
But what do they
Yeah.
do? What do they do? Because for depression, I mean, do you take medication?
So basically, what they try to do with people who are depressed, they try to get you medicated and get you out of there. There's
So
not
was it-
really
so you-
therapy that they could.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So would you like? Was it just like you were there for 6 days? You're like, I'm not going to take anything, or
Well, no, I did. I was since I'm in like a sophomore, I was always on like some antidepressant or some like mood stabilizer because I just had it. My thing is more like OCD anxiety, and then that led to depression. But like the psych ward in Denver was fucking nuts because I would be on the phone with someone, and I was on the phone with my athletic trainer. I was trying to be like, yeah, it sucks, but I'm gonna stick it out. And there was someone behind me like, I'm gonna take a gun, put it to my head, and I was like,
that pretty much is like my whole life in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like me trying to be calm.
I thought you were channeling Kenyon right there.
yeah,
Like,
we're
wait, was
yeah.
I do it? Do we meet?
Yeah.
yeah.
I staged it. No, it was this woman. She's like, I've called the gun shop. I'm getting a gun. And then I kind of broke the ice with my trainer. I was like, yeah, you need to come get me.
Yeah, yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
this is not good.
did you interact with? Did you like make any friends?
Well,
or?
the one in Chicago, I made friends. They've actually, I remember some of the stuff we talked about too, which was like really good. Just
Other
for like
people who had
coping.
depression, or just
Yes,
had this-
and just drug stuff or people who like admitted them because they thought they were gonna kill them. Just like normal, like
Yeah, you know, family.
normal
You know
yeah,
what it
of
is.
course, it's a good time.
Yeah.
But
Just the crew.
But the kid ward was I related to a lot of them. But dude, there was like an 8-year-old who walked in. He's like, I try to set my house on fire, and I was like, what the? I was like, there's sometimes when you feel like you belong, and then other times you're like, no, I think I'm good.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'm gonna tap
I
out.
feel like
Also, kid psychopaths probably the worst psychopaths.
Oh,
yeah,
for
they
sure.
gotta
they don't
be.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way, and it's
They're just creepier too somehow.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, his
you haven't
eyes, yeah.
experienced anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me he tried to set his house on fire, like didn't blink once.
even
And I was
commit
like,
Yeah, it's like, why do you? What do you have to be angry at?
Yeah.
Why are you so mad?
Yeah.
Like,
no,
we're
that was
like, here's
crazy.
Play-Doh. He's like, I killed a dog. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
We're like, okay.
Oh yeah, dude. And then one time when I was in Denver, there was this one dude who tried to like yell at the front desk about how like he had freedom of speech and just like these are his political rights, and he was like I mean, this
So-
is this is essentially Kenyan.
So you met my dad.
Yeah.
So you met my dad.
Imagine getting paid like $14 an hour for a man to just unload his psyche onto you on a daily basis.
Well, that's what the people at the suicide hotline have to go through every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so-
what,
it's
like,
so-
what are you talking about with your coworkers?
That's what Michelle had to go through this past week.
Yeah.
And so you went through. Some people would call it self-improvement. I'm not one of
Yeah.
those people. You had a breast reduction recently.
Yeah.
And that's why you're on, because we're depressed.
When
And,
Most
so-
people are mourning my loss. I feel great.
you
Yeah,
told me, I said this to you earlier. Whenever I hear a woman got breast reduction surgery, I feel like I'm talking to like a Vietnam vet, where I'm like, "Thank you for your service."
Yeah.
What you
Yeah,
did
you're
for
like,
our
"You did
country
good.
was.
You did good."
This is kind of an episode of Maury. We actually have your tits in the other room right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you're
come out. Oh shit! Oh shit!
It was like
Yeah.
such a.
You're trying to get rid of me? Just screaming at.
We're gonna bring him
She's
out
like,
soon.
The tits were just ruining my life. She's like, oh really? Oh really? I was paying all your bills. The tits yell at you. Have the tits on. Like, you tell them tits. You tell them like crying.
Wait, where'd they put him? Do you have him? Like,
Where'd they put him?
Like,
Yeah.
in like a jar?
Yeah.
Isn't
The
it?
Ocean 11 height.
Isn't it
We're
just fat?
I don't know. It's
They don't
weird.
take the whole. Yeah, they
Whole
don't
would,
take
like,
the whole
cook with it.
tit.
No, yeah, it's just like
I don't know the
whole
medical term for the
yang of a
tit.
tit.
but the-
This is
yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
this is like DB Cooper. We're trying to figure out where the loot is buried. We're
I don't
trying
know.
to
I didn't even ask him. I mean, he told me about like the incisions and stuff, but I don't. But like he never told me like what. You just imagine him having like a whole box of just tit fat, and he's just like,
What are they just like throw it in a dumpster? Where
yeah,
is it?
and he just like bathes in it every night.
yeah.
I'm sure they probably donate it to those doomsday preppers or whatever, so they can keep their lights on once the
What do you do
the
with
world.
Preppers for like tit fat?
I've never heard that. I thought to trade it for like clean water in the future. Or something. You know, like,
Tits are a
my
precious
God.
commodity. 40 years
oh
from now.
my god.
Yeah,
So
no.
how does it feel to have like your life go so good that you need it surgically removed? You actually are like,
yeah,
I
Kenny
need.
was like,
Were you sad? Like, did you didn't miss them or?
No, I do feel. No, I was telling Kenny this the other day. Like, I feel so
Because
much better.
we're all heartbroken.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's
This is
what.
actually, we have like a funeral service, like a picture
Yeah.
of leaving. I'm crying. And guy, I'm like a mom who throws herself on the grave, like, take me instead, my baby, my baby.
Oh my
Don't kill my baby.
Look how they massacred my
did
boy.
One day you'll be called upon to complete a favor. Like
Yeah.
opening caskets, cut up tits. I'm like, I just want to see them. I just want to see
I just
them.
want to reconnect. Yeah. I was telling Kenny this the other day. I feel like my back feels a lot better. That was like my main reason for doing it. But like I was walking in somewhere. I'm like, now I'm just an average bitch. Like I felt like I had something special to offer to the world, and now I'm just
Feel
like,
are you like a naturally selfish person, or do you just
yeah, you're just
gotta
like,
look out,
this is
just gotta
really
look
why
out
we
for
brought
number
you
one,
on.
This is
like
kind of the first time I think I've ever looked at your face. It's like,
Yeah. My mom said that too. Yeah. Yeah, she was like, your joke is right. Like people are gonna really have to make eye contact.
I was like,
thank you for
I was
confirming.
like, Drew has eyes?
Yeah.
The whole time I kind of thought you were a pair of
Yeah.
squiggly eyes
Yeah.
glued onto tits.
Her eyes
The
were
whole
tits.
time I
Yeah,
was
of course.
talking.
My eyes were like my nipples on my tits. Yeah.
Do you think you would be an even better diver now?
No, honestly, I really thought about that, and I was like, I feel like it would. Yeah, it took like weight off of me. I was like, I feel like I could have been.
I mean,
I've been a better
literally.
athlete. Yeah.
I mean,
You
Oh,
could have
yeah.
gone to the Olympics or something, right?
Well, I don't.
What about
That's-
bodybuilding?
that's a
Because I mean, you were
stretch.
essentially
Were you
you were
good?
like lifting a heavy load.
No,
good
here's the
at
thing.
that?
I was like Division 3 good at diving, but I like got a really good opportunity to be Division 1, and like
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know what that. I don't know what that means.
This is the first time Cole's insecure on the podcast. He's
Yeah.
like, what is that?
No,
you throw a
no,
Division
but-
1 around.
How do you get an offer to be better
Well, for
athlete
context,
than you are?
Weren't you a swimmer too, Cole?
What?
You were a swimmer, right?
I mean, I swam in high school.
okay, yeah, no, they.
So Drew's like,
so
oh,
there's
so
a
you ain't
pers-
shit. Okay.
So there's a personal beef.
No, I mean,
like
I don't think swimmers even liked the divers at my high school.
Yeah, no, it's very, it's
Like
a little
Crips and
segregated.
blood.
Oh, there's a rivalry.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they don't do anything really,
Yeah,
right?
so you guys compete to see like who's the biggest nerd in high school. And, like,
Yeah. No, I
hang out with
didn't. I
the
didn't
other-
relate with a lot of my teammates, and that's mainly the reason why I quit. Because you're with people for like hours on end, and then you can't relate to them, and it's just so like because it
Oh,
wasn't
what?
my life, and it was there. Like I would go skiing because I was in Denver. I was like, I'm not gonna. Nobody was like, I was like, I'm not gonna go skiing because I'm gonna get injured. I was like, why are you in Denver? You know what I mean? They didn't experience life, and so for me, that was like really frustrating to experience because they were all like training since they were young for diving and stuff like that and swimming. And I started my sophomore year of high school. So I got really lucky to like I got recruited, but that to answer your question. But I also was like, they're not their whole life is swimming. So it's and I'm not, and it's, I can't really, I mean, I can't judge them, but it's like, for me, it was so hard to relate to them. I was like, you want to do stuff? And they're like, no. And I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to make friends over here then. You know what I mean? It was like, I had real
Yeah,
friends.
over here in the
And-
psych ward.
Right, yeah. They're always like, you look like you have so much fun. I'm like, you could do it. Like, you can,
Kill yourself.
yeah, yeah. You
Just
could
motivate
yeah.
you like a fucking.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was and that's partly what I got depressed by. I feel like it's because my high school team was so fun to like we always did everything together and we still like diving, but we're always like diving isn't going to be our life because we're not going to make money from
Are
it.
you scared doing it? I think I'd be very scared.
I
Oh
don't,
yeah, no,
I don't
I never
even
jumped
think
off a diving board.
even if you were the best diver in the world, you could make money from
yeah.
it. Right?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
can't-
know.
I
Cole
What,
can't-
just wants to cut all
Yeah.
sense of achievement away.
No,
from diving.
no,
He's
I'm
like,
just-
so even if you were the best ever, I'm still
Yeah.
better than you.
you still
right?
you're
No.
still
That's
here.
what Cole wants.
No,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like as like what do you get when you become the best
Well,
diver?
it's probably just
No,
like
an
Olympic
medal, Cole, you
endorsements.
piece of
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
yeah, the recognition
But
from
what's-
the World
what's-
Council, you worthless
gonna have his
sweatpants
robot
wearing
dusting.
Neanderthal.
in all those sports, a lot of those athletes end up selling their medals because they can't do
They
anything.
actually do, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're so
I don't know if they keep that in mind when they're when
no,
they're training,
but
yeah.
I hate that Cole's right about most things. Like I want you to know how much it bothers me.
Yeah.
Whatever. Make a solid point. But
Yeah. Like, do you remember the like 400-pound American lady that one shot put?
No.
Exactly.
Oh my god, that's funny. Exactly.
Oh man. So week what you feel lighter. You're walking
yeah.
around. You do have to pay for your drinks, which I imagine is a bummer.
Yeah, that's like I
It's-
gotta start working.
You
Now.
gotta,
What
you
yeah.
gotta work 3 jobs.
So
Yeah.
so they went from what to what?
I was like a double D, triple E. Now I'm like a
Triple D, is that a thing?
oh, dude. I had friends that got one that they were like G's.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, no.
I like you.
Kwame-
That's letters over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were
that's-
about to see like fucking trails of fire
I
away
just
from the
saw
microphone.
Kwame melt and
That's
yeah.
2 letters over.
Me and
Yeah.
Kwame were about to run out this room. Like, where are they? Just
Where are the cheats? Show yourself.
Oh my god.
see the
Yeah.
mics drop on the floor. We're just
Yeah,
God,
no,
I've seen,
I
I've
wasn't
seen what
even.
you've done for others. Can you please?
No, and now
we're
they're
trying
like
to save them. It's like Schindler's List, where I'm like, I could have saved more. I could have done more. Drew, we gotta stop. We gotta save all the big tit ladies before Drew comes over and gives her a spiel.
Yeah, no,
Like
no.
getting him in a van. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, we'll get you set up in a new life over at my house.
And Frank hiding tits in my attic.
Oh my
They're not here. You see, like the tits fall from the attic.
god. Yeah, come
It
on.
was too heavy. You know, like drag me up against a wall.
How do you guys feel about those women that get they to prevent any sort of breast cancer, they'll just cut their boobs off?
Yeah,
Wait,
no.
what?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's this thing. My mom.
Well, then what's the point? You might as well be dead, right? I mean, you might as well. What's
might as
the
well
point
have
of
the cancer
yeah,
with
yeah,
tits.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Wait, so just is it because they have like a history of cancer, or they just go?
No,
fucking
so
cutting the
there's this
tits
thing
off?
called the BRCA gene, and my mom had breast cancer, so like she doesn't have the gene, so that means I don't have it. But essentially, if you that'd be kind of funny if I had a breast reduction, like we're gonna have to cut them off now. Yeah,
Angelina
Just gonna-
Jolie did that.
Well, she could. At that
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, of course.
Angelina
She got
Jolie.
a
Yeah, that much
preventive
money.
Damn right, yeah.
mastectomy.
She just actually
But
straps
do they
on
just take
wads
out a
of
part of it, or
hundreds
do they
tits.
just like they take out like some of the boob, or they take out like the whole breast?
Oh no, most people get implants. Like my so okay, so
Yeah,
this thing,
she
you
has
have the
implants.
BRCA gene that it's like a 99% chance you're gonna get breast cancer. So most women have a double mastectomy to like prevent it. But then you get like my family's been affected by it, and but my both aunts had double mastectomies, but I don't. But
They remove the whole breast.
yes, it's awful and it's
And then
painful.
That's the only time where we actually care more about the tumor than the person. We're like, can we
Yeah.
actually?
Yeah.
We're looking out. We're like trying to get the boobs for the
Yeah.
surgery.
Well, breast cancer always run around with pink ribbons. You tell me that story, I will give you my entire paycheck tomorrow. After we move, like, what if there were
Me and
no
Kwame are like
breasts?
working, we're fundraising like till our legs are
Save-
bleeding.
Save the booby.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we got some tips to save you here. We got a book.
Yeah, we
about
don't
depression.
have any tips about how to deal with smaller breasts, I guess.
I think I'm.
Other than
I think
I
everybody
don't know,
else.
tell better stories.
Yeah.
Like be a funner person. Now.
Have, yeah, you're like have punchlines.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
you didn't say what they went down to though.
Oh, they went down to like a C. I confronted my doctor. I was like, they look really small. Like I just can you imagine him like having.
There's
Yeah.
some
That would
people on
be
the
funny.
podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Would you be
you're gonna
upset
get
if
some,
they-
there's gonna
would
be
you-
some mad girls listening. To
Would you be upset if they went to like an A?
Yeah.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they,
no,
like
I
they
would
fucked
think.
up. They
You
fucked up and
sounded
they're
like
they're
the guy that went to his barber's like, I think you cut it a little too short this time.
Give me a line up.
Yeah. Dude, Kenny was like, sometimes you just seem like you have a PBR in your hand, like just raising hell like a man. And I was like, yeah, essentially. But no, I was like, they just feel really small. And I don't know if it's because I was so used to them being big, but I was like, I just imagine him cutting them off with like resentment, being like, we're going to take him a size smaller. You know what I mean? Just like being mad about it. But
Yeah.
You think they knocked you unconscious? They brought in some middle school girls. They're like, here's your chance. And
Yeah.
they're like, you didn't think you're better than me, bitch. And they
Yeah.
cut, made
What do you
have
think?
mosquito bites.
What do you think the pause in time was when he put you under? He looked at the breast and he actually started the.
no, dude.
Like you think
yeah.
he put you under and he was like, nice.
Yeah.
And then started the actual surgery.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to take 2.5 hours and it took 3.5. My mom's like, there's something going on in there. I
3.5
don't
I
know.
always think those doctors do something.
I mean,
They-
yeah.
Because what? Because
They have like and they like call over the intercom like it's time everyone comes down and like
Yeah.
press the
Because
birthday
it's because you're doing the. Everybody's like 13, like, oh, what if I was like a boob doctor? Yes, and then that guy actually goes to medical school.
Yeah.
And now he's a boob doctor.
He's like working through textbooks. Just like one day, it's all. Gonna
Yeah.
work out.
Dude, yeah, because he was like, what? He's like, before the surgery, he's like, is there one bigger than the other? And he just started like fiddling with. I was like, do you need to be alone? Like, I wanted him to remove my tits so he could do it himself. Like, it was
Wait,
so.
he just started
weird.
feeling them?
Yeah, he was like.
Wait, he was feeling your breasts?
Yeah, he was like, which one?
You have a
is it?"
glove on?
No.
You have a
Was he
shirt
wearing-
on?
He's just like in sweatpants.
He was just-
Yeah.
He's like in his sweatpants,
Yeah.
like. But
Right.
you're like, who? Wait, are you a doctor? Like, no, this is my
Nurse,
brother's stand.
who are you? Do you work here?
I was like, you don't look familiar. Yeah, no, he like.
Like, why is the janitor in here? Like, so,
Yeah, my mom told me they have to put like their initials on their tit. Like he brands all his like patients and just like puts. It was just. Yeah, it was for me. It was really uncomfortable because like I honestly part of the reason why I wanted a reduction.
He probably went inside and put his initials on the
Oh
inside
yeah,
too.
he stitched them up.
What if there was like a Bansky like street art thing? on there?
But so,
Yeah.
there's
like
stitch?
obey sticker on your fucking spot. Well, this is the first time a men's ever said this, but enough about your boobs. Let's talk about these.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah, I know. I was like, this could be a 2 hour.
Yeah, I was
How'd
just
you
like,
work
yeah,
right
me and
now?
Kwame are just like, I think we could record all night. We're just gonna.
fascinated.
Yeah.
So I picked up from the library. I think they're getting tired of me at the library.
Oh, for sure. It must be kind of disturbing where it's like, he's back.
So I picked up A Mind of Your Own: The Truth About Depression and How Women Can Heal Their Bodies to Reclaim Their
Women.
Lives.
I like how even the title's like, and women
Yeah.
finally get their
Wrote
shit
so
together.
differently
Who
than the
wrote
rest
it?
of the
Who wrote the book?
Kelly Brogan. She's a MD. She's certified in psychiatry, psychosomatic medicine, and integrative holistic medicine.
Women.
Isn't psychosomatic mean that like it doesn't actually? Isn't it like a placebo basically?
No, it means it just exists in your mind.
So it's like a so essentially it's like something.
Yeah, it's not real.
yeah.
What is
Like
it?
if you have psychosomatic symptoms, like you might feel like your face
I
is
might
on
feel like-
fire.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm studying psychology, but psychosomatic is when you, like, if you're nervous and your stomach hurts, you're creating physical symptoms based off your mind, basically.
Yeah.
Well, but
Yeah.
so she said like actual degree after degree, like, and then made up medicine.
Yeah.
You said like,
Yeah.
and then voodoo, basically. And then she was just like,
Yeah.
and then I'm into just like fucking hanging up garlic. Either way.
She said she is one of the
Vampirology.
she's one of the only doctors in the nation with these qualifications.
Yeah, because most doctors are doctors. She's one of the only doctors that actually learned and then went
She's
backwards.
fucking disbarred.
Yeah. She got taken away. So she went for being smart and then just threw all that away. And then
Does she have
Yeah.
a medical degree?
What? She got it from MIT, I think.
From MIT?
Oh, damn.
well, because I
She-
think they don't find a job for like 4 months, and they're like, I'll just write a book about
No,
vaccines or
no.
some shit, and then make $1 million.
I think what they do is they're smart people. They get rich, then they hang around other rich people who think they're smart, and those are the people that are into like
That's the question we
anti-vax
keep
and
visiting. Do you think that like a person who writes a book like this, do you think like she actually believes this, or is she like, I am selling this to?
yeah, she actually believes it, I think.
Was it based off, like, the way she writes it?
I mean, she gives herself coffee enemas, so
Wait,
yeah.
Yeah.
that would you didn't
okay.
even attempt to get.
So
you,
when we asked you what the, like, whole, like, whatever was about the book that, like, wasn't, like,
I mean,
that-
I feel like you have to believe in your stuff if you're giving
Okay.
you're
yourself
skipping
coffee.
over that. Like that wasn't
Yeah.
huge. You were like, "What's the gimmick of this
Yeah,
book?"
the
And you're
gimmick,
like, what are
yeah.
you talking about? And then you're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah." So she gives herself coffee enemas, and I'm like, "That's what we were talking
yeah.
about."
You never
You
did
can
that?
go to her
You're like
web-
supposed to cleanse you.
You
Yeah,
can go to her
we asked you-
website and see herself giving herself a coffee enema. She shows you how to
No,
do
at
it.
that point,
not
you're
true.
just
That's not true. Are you
A
serious?
DIY coffee
Yeah.
enema?
She
What
actually,
are
does
you
she actually
kidding
do
me?
that?
Yeah, you can go to her
Filmed
website.
herself putting coffee. It's porn. Putting coffee in your asshole.
No, it's not porn.
It is
Yeah,
porn.
it's exactly.
Fucking porn.
Well, it could be porn to somebody.
Yeah. Everything's porn. This
Yeah, I
podcast may unfortunately
yeah,
be porn to
yeah.
somebody.
It's a pot.
Yeah,
God
so-
help that poor soul.
So I feel like if she's doing that, she definitely believes in what she's.
I don't know. I feel like she gets a hot check from these coffee enema videos. 'Cause if you promise me, well,
Wait,
honestly,
so
an extra $100 a week, I'll do
$4
coffee
million,
enema.
4 million Pornhub.
Wait, did you
views.
watch her
Yeah.
give herself a coffee enema?
No, I didn't.
So
How do you know?
Because
As he just
she
awkwardly
said
pauses.
she said in the book you can go to my website and see me giving myself a coffee enema. What do
Cole's
you
like,
mean?
let me check this.
She said it
Yeah.
in the book, officer. So
Yeah.
Honestly, if you offered me an extra $100, me and Kwame would do it on camera right now.
I'm not
We
doing
would be,
coffee enema.
Yeah, we'd be just
I put
shoving.
some in my butt.
This is her.
Hey, you drank pee, right? We're not on the same level.
What's the
Oh damn! Yeah, I'd watch that. Check out that.
Watch
What's the
that.
website? www.coffeenema.com.
Hey, man.
But
I'm gonna just send him with some Fritos later. Fucking, some guac and Fritos. Have you a little afternoon. Get 3D glasses on for some reason.
her whole thing is that as you can see on the cover, you can see the pill bursting.
What is the pill?
That's
an
the
anti-vaxxer.
that's the
He
an-
doesn't believe in
Essentially.
actual medicine.
yeah, she doesn't believe in antidepressants and believes that
Oh yeah,
you
mine
He
can-
and
also
your own.
doesn't believe that people who killed themselves. so those are the two camps of people, and not an antidepressant.
No, but that's so true
His
though.
body's on the floor from a skyscraper. So.
Yeah.
So she really hates antidepressants. She says they're one of the biggest tragedies in modern medicine.
Yeah, I think that's a really huge point. I really hate when people are like, I would never take antidepressants. Like, didn't you just like spend a week crying alone? And you're like, yeah, but I don't want to
Yeah.
get rid of me. You know,
Right.
I want to keep this alive. And it's like, well, what's there?
Yeah, that's the most ironic thing too, is when people are like, "But I don't want to change me." I'm like, "But you hate you."
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so what?
Yeah,
that's
you
what you're
should want to change you.
right,
It's like, well, what if the Prozac changes you? If it doesn't, you need to return it.
right,
That's
right.
its job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like antidepressants don't really compare to like the other tragedies of modern medicine that we've
Yeah.
had in the past.
Yeah, like this Tuskegee
Also, what are the-
experiments.
what are the- Mark, like, I'm trying to figure what are the tragedies of modern medicine? The fact that
Yeah,
people live to 90 years
Yeah,
old,
yeah.
that's a tragedy.
You have to call your grandma every weekend. You're like,
Exactly.
this piece of
The
shit.
fact that we
Yeah.
can,
Fuck you. The guy came up with the polio
the fact
vaccine.
that we can give you a new face is the tragedy of modern medicine.
Yeah. I mean, there is tragedies like Kenyon brought up.
That's not modern. That was a while ago.
That's modern.
That was in the it was.
Yeah, 50s and shit.
I like how we say the 50s and shit. Like I was like, lobotomies and stuff. No good. No good. No good. Life a little bit ago was no good. So,
Yeah.
but, yeah,
But it doesn't compare
antidepressants
to
don't work. You should be
antidepressants.
shoving coffee in your asshole.
She says antidepressants are linked to school shootings.
Well, most of those people are just crazy. So on the way to being insane, they're like, here's some antidepressants. And like, that
Doesn't matter. Correlation doesn't matter. She doesn't care.
You're like, don't you bring facts in it. Don't you? Haven't you been doing this long enough to know that a well-balanced argument doesn't mean anything?
They're linked to school shootings, airplane crashes,
No, that doesn't even.
and,
A Boeing 37's all clogged up with Prozac. Like, what does that even mean?
and other unfortunate events often blamed on terrorists.
But this is not, like,
'cause
real
I want to
research.
stop. We're not going to skip over that. So did she try to say that
9/11 was caused by
because they were feeling a little down that day?
No,
Is that
yeah.
what they're saying?
You could say that they actually finally believed in themselves. Like he took Prozac and he's like, I can do this. I can fucking commit jihad.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says hundreds of mass shootings and homicides have been committed on antidepressants.
Well, that's just not.
But they're also probably on coke or something. Like they're not
Well, it's because
just on
most
antidepressants.
people who are insane probably at some point receive help, and they're like, here's antidepressants.
Right.
Obviously, not good enough.
Right,
And then they
right,
still
right.
kill people.
But also,
Yeah.
hundreds of mass shootings have happened from people not on antidepressants.
Yeah.
Like it's just
It's also like probably you could say that they.
Did she say
also-
that she doesn't say it causes it, right?
She'll say it. She says it's linked
yeah.
to it.
She says it's linked. She doesn't.
Okay, yeah, linked
explicitly
I know
is
this is.
say it.
I know this is your first rodeo. You don't question. You don't question the podcast.
Oh,
often,
sorry,
right?
sorry. All right.
But
all right.
that when she says it's linked, she means it causes it. Like that's how you're supposed to
Yeah,
read
Prozac caused the Parkland shootings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Really.
you look at the side effects. It's always like, yeah, your dick might not work, and like nausea. It's never like
Right.
load up-
Honestly, I mean, because there is a link. Because if these people weren't on antidepressants, they might have been sad enough to kill themselves before they committed the tragedy.
Most times when people kill themselves, so like I this is dark, but my best friend's mom killed herself, and I think it was because she stopped taking antidepressants. If you like go off of them cold turkey, you are like so suicidal.
Really?
Yeah, and
but
because you're
she counters that anecdotal evidence with,
all right, I'm gonna hear it.
with her own.
refers to a tragedy, which Drew reluctantly shared as anecdotal evidence. Insanity.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, we actually have a pie graph for you.
Cute
Yeah.
story. Here's a chart.
No,
actually.
well, she says her friend Katie went on antidepressants and then killed herself a week later. So
Because
Well, that takes like
Yeah.
more than a week to work.
yeah,
Fred
it
Katie's
does.
a little impatient.
It does. It no, that's true though, because most of them take 2 weeks to kick in because they're not like it's not like when you
Actually, I had you on because this is kind of like
It's
someone
a little
who's
too
like,
long for those to
yeah.
yeah
the drug to make me not die. It shouldn't
Unless-
be like it takes 2 weeks to.
right unless you're on like Xanax, which is like a controlled substance, which could like
Hey.
yeah. I mean yeah, unless you're Kenyan.
Then you record an awesome podcast.
Right.
then you
Yeah.
record an awesome pod and do the
Oh,
Laugh
man.
Factory later.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Most of them take 2 weeks to work, and then some of them can make you suicidal. Like, you ever see those commercials for antidepressants? They're like, may cause suicide, and you're like, wait, what? Like, that's not.
It's like the
yeah.
one thing you
Right.
didn't have to do.
Why do they make you suicide?
Because they can actually make you kind of literally believe in yourself enough to kill yourself. Because you might be too depressed to like have the
Like, get
will
up
to
and
get on a
Believe
bus
in yourself.
and kill you. But when you, yeah.
Yeah.
But another thing, this is kind of like, you know, when you're like thinking about checking out a house or a neighborhood and you invite someone who lives there. This is what I'm doing with antidepressants. Where I'm like, how is it, Drew? 'Cause
Yeah, I was
I'm
thinking
thinking
about because I'm like,
think about making the switch. This is
a
like
little
time
depressed.
order.
I get depressed every once in a while, and then reading this shit, I'm like, I think I'm good over here.
I want to see.
Dope.
The thing is, I'm scared to not, because I've been on them and then been off of them. I'm scared to be off of them and tried all this alternative because I've been on them for so long. And I finally found like the right.
have you been interested in the alternative medicine stuff?
Yeah, no, for sure. I have, because I think about it a lot and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be on them the rest of my
Well, like
life.
holistic shaman voodoo
No.
bullshit. or-
I'm talking like CBD, just like anything to kind of.
It's pretty mild, though. Because sometimes when you're like having a panic attack and you eat
Oh, yeah.
something you got from a head shop.
I have to like
From a-
swallow a whole bottle of CBD. To be
Oh,
like, I think
yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah, you had
What is
CBD, and I
CBD?
like
What does
chugged that shit.
CBD do? Because it
It's-
gets you high, right?
No,
No.
it. I don't know how it works, but there's something in it that.
Like, what does it make
There's
you feel like?
there's something about the people that promote that I just don't believe.
Yeah, it's
in.
on like Joe
Yeah.
Rogan's podcast. You're like, I don't think the cure to schizophrenia is.
What does it make you feel like? It feels like you're mellowed
It makes
out.
you feel
or-
like kind of like you just meditated.
You just it's normal because it doesn't get you high. It doesn't have like it has like 0.01% of THC. Yeah.
No, it makes you feel
Yeah.
like if you're anxious or stressed out, it makes you feel like kind of calm and in like a more uplifted mood.
Cites a 1932 paper from the New England Journal of Medicine. This is back when they used to, just cut out pieces of people's brains and shit.
Yeah. When your housewife was like, I don't know if I want to be with you
Coffee.
forever. They're like, we should cut off the part of your
When you
brain.
were writing
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
when you write a sentence like this in a book, coffee delivered to the rectum isn't the same as drinking coffee. The effects are dramatically different. Oh, you don't say.
No, yeah,
For
you're
coffee
you're goddamn
directly to my
right.
fucking anal lining.
How do you, if you had like roommates, like what if you were like, you moved in with somebody, it's going pretty well. And you see them shove a tube in their ass, start pouring coffee there. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
moving.
Or like you
Have you met people that don't really believe in antidepressants?
I know a surprising amount of people do.
You know what's weird
I'm a
is
little
like
worried about it myself because I'm like,
I don't know, like my dad's one of those people. I feel like
a lot of some of the side effects are kind of like the no dick thing, kind of stressful.
I think it
Does
just
that
depends on
happen
which
to
one you're
everybody?
on.
It's
pretty common.
It's
like
pretty
the
common. I've met people that
Yeah.
are impotent because of it.
Well,
I would, yeah.
but some people who I heard Adderall is what does it. I don't know if you know what I mean.
No,
'Cause
Adderall,
I think it's
Well,
mixed.
Adderall
Like
makes it so you
funny.
can't come, right? Because it's all fucking
yeah, but
freaks you up and shit.
I don't know.
like Coke.
I don't really. I can't relate to this, so I don't really know. Like I would tell you if it, but it's not. For me, it's never really been an issue. I don't.
Does
think,
weed help at all? Because you smoke weed a lot, right?
We
Yeah.
really, I don't.
Yeah, but
I never understood that argument for a second. Where it's like,
Weed's
oh,
not
have
really
you
my
thought about
thing.
getting high all the time?
Right.
And I'm like, that is what a drug problem is.
Right.
That is, how dare you? Someone's like, no,
Yeah.
it's the cure for depression. I'm like, so is heroin to a point.
right, of
So
course.
is that
of
what the hell do you
course.
think that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it works, but then I wake up in an alleyway.
I used
Yeah.
to be paranoid when I
no, anymore.
smoked weed, so I stopped, and I
But,
never know what I feel like I'm getting.
That's the same way people view antidepressants, at least in her book, is that you're like a drug addict and you need
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, but there's a difference between like it's
not a
medicine. You
mind-altering,
could
like-
say that about insulin.
Yeah, I don't think she likes insulin either. to be
Yeah.
honest.
You're like, to be fair, across the board, not a fan of approved medicine. Yeah,
Yeah.
She doesn't like vaccines or insulin.
Oh,
so-
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Does she mention vaccines in this
yeah.
book? What did she
You're
say
like, of
about
course
it?
she does.
Did she
Yeah.
say they cause depression?
Yeah.
Nothing depresses me more than my kids.
autism. And they just kill people in general. But
what do you mean in general?
Yeah, you're scared. You're just not even giving me any details here.
What do you mean? How
Like,
do
yeah, vaccines make your kids retarded.
Well,
no,
she says
I don't.
she says it's like drinking poison. So
It's not like first off, you don't drink vaccines. And no.
Yeah.
Well,
modern.
she says it's like drinking poison to treat a poison.
That's like the most bare bones understanding.
Yeah.
That's like
But
the
like-
most,
Also, you can do that. You can take tiny bits of poison to eventually, like, have an immunity
that's
to
what I did with
poison.
CNN. I mean, just,
God. Oh my
just to be able to fucking sit there.
Yeah.
Just
But,
problem to my parents. I'm just trying to build up a
So-
tolerance.
You guys feel like what's the argument for that's being a drug? Because when we say drug addict, you assume somebody's getting high. If I got high on my antidepressants, I'd for sure be taking them every day.
Yeah.
Like, and not, but
I think it's only a drug addict if it negatively affects your life, I guess.
right. So
And
it's
if
not
you
like
need-
it
like,
is
if you
drugs, but that's also like saying you're a drug addict if you take Advil every day. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? 'Cause
Well,
they are
you
drugs.
are if you're using it outside of its purpose. Like, there are people that are addicted to ibuprofen and Advil.
Does ibuprofen get you high?
It doesn't give you high, but it makes you feel better. If you're
Oh, I see. what you're
Ibuprofen,
saying,
isn't
yeah.
it just a pain
But that's a totally different type of addiction. Unlike
Not
if I don't
really.
have, you're gonna start. Are you gonna start shaking and crying if you don't have Advil? You're gonna.
I mean,
you're gonna
If you're
pawn an
addicted to that
Xbox.
shit, probably.
Get
Yeah.
Advil.
If you're addicted to that shit, probably.
Yeah.
Advil?
If you're
Yeah.
addicted
Have
to
you
it, like
doesn't
physically,
even do anything.
if you're
Advil doesn't.
physically and mentally addicted to that shit, yeah, that's how that shit
Advil-
works.
That's
Advil
because
does
you
not
probably
physically
only
get you
you
addicted.
probably only take it when you need it, so you
Yeah.
don't get addicted to it. But if you get addicted
Yeah.
to
If
it,
you were taking like 20 Advil a day, your body's gonna become like physically addicted to fucking Advil.
You-
But no, but there's
it-
some
yeah.
substance chemicals that actually are physically addictive, and then others aren't.
There's ones that are
Like alcohol.
There's ones
and-
that are more easily
is,
physically addictive,
and
like
the-
alcohol,
Right.
coke, heroin. But you
No,
can't,
no, no.
doesn't mean you
Coke's not
can't
physically
get.
addictive.
Doesn't mean you can't
Heroin
get
is.
physically addicted to fucking Advil and shit and get shakes. or
But
whatever. I don't know.
We have Google. We don't have to argue about. We
Yeah.
can solve this argument.
yeah, and
Um,
you can get addicted to Advil.
I think it's just wanting to feel better, like your pain. You know what I mean? It's like you want.
Also, if you're addicted
but
to Advil, you should kill. Like, if that's of all
Yeah.
the drugs, you're like, ibuprofen's the thing that got
my
me.
my
Trying
Like,
to
at
like
least
cool
yeah.
kid, you can't sit at a table. The other addicts.
Yeah,
right?
you can't.
Just
You can't.
because you had a little Xanax bomb, and he's like, no, you're not addicted. I was addicted. You want to talk about addiction when you're selling your ass for Xanax down in Guadalajara? You're talking about fucking.
But so she also formulates like how depression is caused.
women.
Yeah,
Let me tell you.
Yeah, like how Drew looks over as if I'm like, I got an idea.
Yeah, wait, why is it
Yeah.
specifically?
These bitches.
Because it hasn't specifically said why it's for women yet.
I mean,
It'll get to it in the end why it's for women. But she says depression is caused. There's like a couple ways. Usually it's though if you're if there's like a inflammation caused by your gut or something.
yeah, I've
So she-
I've heard that too.
Yeah, she doesn't think it's a mental thing. That's just like an inflammation. It's
I
a
have I have some
symptom.
pretty-
I'd say we all
So
have
it's a
brains.
physical
Yeah,
symptom
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes me.
Listen, I want to call her, and I was like, I got some.
Yeah.
It's coming from my brain.
No,
I'm
so
not bummed out
yeah.
because of what's going on in my
It's
system.
Well, 'cause-
it's
yeah.
a symptom of an inflammation of your gut, and all depression is just telling you that something's wrong with your stomach.
Yeah, well, so I went through a weird.
It's a weird
thing.
way to solve that problem.
Yeah, I went to
I'll
a
jump
doctor.
off a building to solve this dietary issue.
I went to a doctor at University of Chicago for my stomach actually, and they said that serotonin, the stuff in your brain that helps with your mood, is the second the most serotonin besides the brain is in your stomach. So like that's where the most serotonin is located, in your brain, and then in your stomach is the second place. So that's why like if you're nervous, your stomach can hurt and stuff like that. But I think that's part of the problem. I don't think that's the whole. You know what I mean? Like I definitely, because I had like really bad IBS like a few years ago.
Another thing with you can't shit.
No,
Night or
I
whatever.
had both. It
There's
was the
like
weirdest
C
thing.
and
Irritable
D.
bowel
Yeah.
syndrome, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
There's
I had
constipation and
colonoscopies stuff.
diarrhea.
I thought I had that for a while. In junior high school,
Mhm.
I couldn't shit for 8 straight days.
Well, that's just because
Yeah.
you eat like ramen noodles.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
When
just
you're
because you're
eating, like,
diet.
Talkie,
When you don't have any food.
talkies
Yeah.
and bullshit.
Your small intestine was like, we have no food. You sit down. There's absolutely what are you supposed to shit out? You got nothing going in the first day.
Yeah. So I I see psychiatrists and I'm a lot better, but but part of that is like these books. It's like of course if you eat if you eat a healthy diet, you're gonna feel better. But that doesn't mean your brain isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna
Also,
have
it might not be enough for people that really need it. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
felt good because I ate a salad today, but I don't know if I'm
Right.
good enough. Like, it's all slight.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the tips are very slight help, and I think people that are severely
Because they're
like, go look at somebody who's screaming alone at a bus stop, and it's like, have you tried positive affirmations? And you're like,
Yeah.
that's like a chemical
That's
imbalance.
questioned because the people who would buy and believe this book try it out for a month and they kill themselves and they die. So there's no negative reviews. It's only positive reviews.
The thing is, if you change the cause of depression to something outside of the mind, you can then start like just prescribing simple fixes like dietary
But do you
fixes
think
or
you
like
do
selling
you think you can
homeopathic
placebo
products.
your way into fixing it? Like, do you think if you if it is like a mental
some
thing,
people.
but you tell yourself like, well, maybe it's just because of my diet and because like my job or whatever the fuck, you can fix those things in your life and then you are happy?
Well,
You know
for
what I mean?
some
That's
people.
how I feel about religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's just like people. I mean, that's how I feel about like religion in the first place. But that it's like you almost blame your problems on something else so that you feel justified, which is okay. Do you know what I mean? It's okay to say, oh, maybe my stomach is like causing all these issues. So then if I eat healthier, I'll feel better. And then you're like, oh, this salad made me feel better. So then I'm not a shitty person.
Well,
anymore. But
if
it's
you-
You're
not.
depressed
if
'cause
you-
you're going to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, because your religion, you're
Yeah.
Jewish, right?
Yeah. So
Are
like
you still Jewish or are you raised Jewish? Or?
I was raised Jewish. I am Jewish, but I'm not.
Talk about blaming your problems on something else.
Yeah, you're like, come on, buddy.
Palestinian 5-year-old. Blaming your problems.
No, I'm not. I'm very culturally Jewish because I go to a Jewish camp. I used to go to a Jewish summer camp, and like we had like
That's why you're on antidepressants.
yeah, of course.
You're like, yeah, you are culturally Jewish. You
my
watch Woody
mom-
Allen movies. Instead of a bar mitzvah, they just take you to a
Yeah,
psych.
that is true.
Yeah.
You go to a therapist and you're like, I'm depressed. And you're like, oh, your grandparents were in the Holocaust. So you should,
Yeah,
you
of
should probably
course.
feel a
Of course, it
little
was
sad.
handed down to
you're
you.
a little sad. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I don't know. I don't know if religion, like for me, I think it was something that we never were really. Nobody said God ever in my house. It was never like that. But I was bat mitzvah, like I had a bat mitzvah, but I think it was just my mom being like, look at what we can do.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? It
yeah.
was so like I didn't even want a party, and she's like, we're gonna have a party. I was like, okay, but
That's kind of cool.
it was fun. It was really fun. But no, all Jews have like stomach issues and are depressed. Or anxiety, not depression. It's more anxiety.
I think
You
that
sound like Nazi propaganda right now.
Yeah.
All Jews have
but
stomach.
like yeah,
stomach-
but yeah, pretty much. But like every
I
Jew
think that's
I
like
talk to.
legitimate though.
Yes, no, every
No, no,
Jew I've
You
talked
think it's a
to.
cultural? You think cultural things?
No, I think it's because if you're chased around for thousands of years, you might be a little nervous. I think you might be a little nervous. You might be a little
That's true. Well, I don't know. I don't know if the physical. I don't believe in the physical symptoms, but mentally,
But
mentally
it's a
certain
pretty
cultures.
intense thing.
Yeah.
Mentally, certain cultures are a certain way. So it makes sense that you're like a little
Yeah.
nebbish and whatever.
It is a culture thing because everybody. I
You
mean,
have OCD where you want to make sure you know where your family are at all,
Yeah,
at all
of
times.
course.
In case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, every mom at the temple has a bottle of Xanax. I mean, it is like, everybody's a
Finally gonna
psychiatrist.
cash in on this nose. I'm finally
Yeah.
just walk into the, hey, my brother.
Yeah.
Where are we at in the book now?
So depression caused by inflammation of the gut. So to heal it, you gotta change your diet. And some of
Also,
the
I can't imagine like crying, lying on the couch, and someone's like, "We made salmon today. Maybe that is that gonna cheer you up, Katie?" I'm like, "I should be dead." They're like, "It's grilled and marinated salmon for you," and I was like, "Well, it is pretty good. I think I will change my life."
the things
Always
The
been
thing-
I'm
the-
a worthless guy who has salmon now.
the main things causing depression are gluten.
Oh, for sure.
That's a
Why is gluten like?
I definitely
the-
I definitely get depressed whenever I hear somebody talk about gluten. It
Yeah.
totally makes
Makes
me
me
pretty fucking
suicidal,
sad.
I'll tell you that.
It's awful.
Why
It's
is
awful.
gluten like the essentially the Jews of dietary problems, where everyone just
Yeah.
blames
Oh,
everything
it's
on
so,
gluten?
yeah.
That's 'cause,
No,
you
I
know,
agree with that.
I don't
do.
I still don't know what the fuck gluten is. I don't really know what
People
it
they
does.
just say
So
like
you can
"Ah,
just
it's
bring it
gluten."
up and I can be like, yeah, I guess it has gluten. I have no fucking clue.
At this point, I feel like they're gonna be like, you know, what was in those planes? A lot of gluten heading towards the Twin Towers. That's what took it down. Literally weighed the carbs. The carbs
Yeah.
broke
the
down
gluten,
Tower
the
7.
gluten is like a rat. It spreads throughout Europe. It's like
Yeah, it's insane how they just throw gluten around. I'm like, people have been eating bread for thousands of years, and it's like, what yoga instructor doesn't do it for a week, and everyone else is supposed to change our fucking lives? I don't understand. It,
dairy, also a big depression causer.
yeah. But
Why does
cheese
dairy
is one
cause
of the
depression?
happiest things that there is.
why does dairy cause depression? Like if you're
right.
lactose intolerant, I mean, if you're shitting yourself constantly, then
Yeah.
yeah, probably
You
makes
said
sense.
that too.
I mean, why does gluten cause depression. There's no.
I feel like Cole's like
These
a
are
defeated
just,
dad at this point. Where
I
he's
think-
like, I
yeah.
don't know, man. It's
She says GMOs cause depression.
yeah, nothing like a fucking carrot that lasts longer than a day bums me out. Nothing like
that really pisses me off.
the
The people-
advances of science really
anti-GMO people really
are
like,
idiots.
piss me the fuck off.
Because also you do realize that like even like the Native Americans were
Yeah, it's literally if I just breed a banana to get the bananas that like last longer, that's like a genetically modified organism.
Right.
Yeah, and
Nature
it'll
is
make you
terrible.
depressed eventually when
It'll
you
make
start
you
eating it.
Also, it's cool when they're like they have fish that have like rabbit ears. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking cool. That's
Well,
amazing.
That's a little different than.
Yeah, we're talking about that. We're talking about like corn that
I'm
can
just talking
make
about
it to the store.
The amazement of science. They're like,
yeah.
they're like,
If we're
oh, they
making
make it-
fish with rabbit ears, that's
It's literally
I'm
it's
just
always
saying. I'm just saying.
that's maybe they
Full
have a point
science
at that
is
point.
cool. All right, it's not that wrong.
I hate these, you know, because they're always just like, you know what we used to call GMOs? Fucking progress. That's the actual term. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Anti-vaccines vaccines and antibiotics both cause depression too.
Oh,
Antibiotics cause
antibiotics.
depression.
Does she believe in anything? Like, why don't you just
So
walk
just-
in a dirt road back to the 13th
Also,
century?
you know, she acts like these are like stuff like dietary changes and like enemas and shit, like things I can do myself, as if I can just like choose to not have antibiotics after I get a surgery.
Oh yeah, she's basically like antibiotics like cure depression. It's like so living causes
Yeah,
depression.
yeah.
yeah.
Which we can agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She
It's starting
might
to
be
make
right all along.
sense.
Yeah.
If we
It's
get rid
starting
of
to make
all the
sense.
medicine, you're dead. Cure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we're at
Yeah.
at the goal.
She
Oh, yeah.
says fluoride also causes depression
Get the
in our
Where
tap
do you-
water.
Okay, so here's
Did
my
she just
question.
go on like a fucking just
Clean
Illuminati
water, clean
subreddit?
water, antibiotics, medicine, vaccines.
This is just a
anything.
book of YouTube comments that's fucking stapled together.
So does she? Here's my question: does she go through like her own experience with depression or anything? Because I don't trust people who haven't. Do you know what I mean? Who study
sure.
stuff they haven't been through, or like not been through. But if you're going to talk about depression, you might want to have at least experience. With
You
it.
think you have to
I think
study
she
anything?
went
So,
through
like,
it-
if I like teach Chinese, is that weird?
No. I'm saying like if you're gonna talk,
Write a book about
write
it.
a book and say like give advice to other people. It's like people who aren't comedians giving you advice. You're like, well, you know.
I think she went through it for a week and then did yoga and got better.
yeah.
Yeah.
So every white girl ever.
Yeah.
That just means that no one liked her photo for a little bit. She's like, I got my ass tighter. And suddenly my fucking smile went around. Because I'm getting the fucking validation that I need. This soulless creature walks around feeding off the semen of your best friend.
Jesus. That's a new intro to the podcast. I want that to play. In the fucking...
So yeah, she says basically to cure depression you gotta change your diet. It should be like a kind of like a paleo diet, but she says you can use carbs because carbs are crucial to a woman's emotional well-being.
To be fair, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah. She's
You
like, don't.
imagine
Yeah.
Dude, I love he's fucking just like 80s hack comic fucking tips. Like,
Yeah.
carbs, you give a girl with some bread, she stops fucking
Yeah, you
crying,
know
am I
how
right?
women love fries, man.
Women
yeah.
love fries.
Women, yeah.
I know. Turn that frown upside down. Some cheesecake, you dumb hole. You dumb. You're just throwing cake at your girlfriend. Like, why don't you quit crying? Christ.
She's essentially saying like she's conforming to the idea that like women love chocolate like on their period, like that whole thing where it's like,
Well, she also says that carbs
yeah, but
is
like
what
it's an
gave us.
excuse. You know what I mean? To be fat. Like I don't really like crave
Can
chocolate.
we,
I mean, come on.
we have that on tape, right?
Can I play
Yeah.
that?
Just gonna
In-
cut
in
into
front
it
of
like a
Senate
5
committee?
second.
Can I play that? fucking-
Yeah.
She's like, I want chocolate. We're like, actually, we
Yeah.
got another one of.
Kwame plays it at an open mic. He's like, I'm representing all women right now.
You're pretty much an informant.
Yeah.
Well, she likes carbs. She also says carbs is what helped us get such large brains. When we were primates, we ate a lot of carbs and our brains grew rapidly.
So then why is
Where did we
bad?
get
You know
carbs?
what I mean?
Huh?
Where do we get them?
Starchy vegetables.
You know,
you just say insane things in a calm demeanor every episode. Like, yeah, where do we get carbs? Yeah.
don't
Like
you have
potatoes?
carbs from like bread and shit,
Yeah.
right? You have to like bake.
Potatoes.
You have to like bake to like get carb, right?
Oh, is there a certain like
Oh wait, are you just?
temperature
Oh,
thing?
you're confused on what carb. So food, right? It's like the rest of us buy.
But I'm
with
saying
mon-
bread.
Money is
You
the thing
get
you have with a
carb-
job.
You
A
get
job.
carbs
A job's the
from
thing.
bread that you make from wheat. So if you were going to be able to bake bread, you would have already had to have a big brain, right?
Carbs-
That's what I was trying to say.
Carbs are not the bread isn't the only source of carbs in the world.
You're blowing Kwame's. You have to baby steps him through food. So there's more. So there's other- so I know you think of food. All the main food groups: PBR, Cheetos, fucking socius bread, right? But that's basically what you think of as totality of food in your world. Is the chips they put out at a bar.
Carbs,
But,
carbs. Go over those shit. Go
You don't
to
even-
the book. I'm not doing this.
don't
right
even
now.
know what the
Go to
word
book.
is.
Go to the book. Go to the book. I
What
don't give
the
a fuck.
fuck you're talking about.
I'm sorry to go back, but I love how Kwame was like, "See, if you think I was like a Chinese instructor, that'd be weird." Like he's just like planning on telling it.
Well, I mean, really, yeah, he has like a career that he's like, yeah, he's just like, it just seems like Mandarin's the way to go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was just so funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
she said it's an ancestral diet, so a diet that our ancestors ate, and we should have
spears to the face.
Also, I hate this whole like people focusing on the past as if it's a positive thing. It's like we were alive for 30 years.
We enslaved
hunted.
other human beings.
Yeah.
Right, our life expectancy is longer now, so
No,
like, why wouldn't you
everything's
focus
better.
on that?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, everything's better.
I think
Like, let's go back to
I
when
think
people
she-
killed each other with rocks.
I think she would say
Let's do that.
I think she would say our life expectancy is longer, but our lives are worse.
Cool. I'd
Cool.
rather
Do we
have a
air
log.
conditioning and a machine that can look up anything we've ever wanted? Because that seems cool.
Like-
Also, you have a fridge that keeps anything cold.
like
forever.
body wise, we're
Body-wise?
worse.
Like how we can go to the store, get any food we want, enjoy
No,
the
it's
gym.
No, that's not-
you know
that's
what's
not
really unhealthy
body-wise.
body-wise. 200 lashes to the back. That's pretty fucking.
No, she means like we
I think how I'm living right now is a lot better than
Like we-
how my ancestors living.
like we used to not have depression. We used to be skinnier and stuff like
also
that.
didn't
I used to be skinnier because motherfuckers didn't feed people.
Also, you just didn't have time to realize how stupid you were. 'Cause you had to work in a
5
field.
years. We were fucking skinny.
You know, I feel like we've deviated from how coffee up my asshole is going to make me believe in myself.
Yeah. She also says grass-fed.
But like, why? You're saying, but like, why did any of these things work?
Yeah.
I know she's just saying. So antidepressants are garbage because of some anecdotal link to school shootings.
yeah.
And I should. How does that lead to me buying a coffee maker and plugging it in my asshole? You know what I mean?
Yeah, what does the coffee
Why?
do?
Like,
Does
is there any evidence, or is she just say it? She just says that.
She says it helps with the flora and fauna in your gut.
I'm really trying here, Cole. I'm giving you everything, and
gotta remember-
you're giving me nothing.
She thinks depression is caused by issues in the gut.
It's my gut feeling that she's full of shit.
So
That's what's going on in my gut. If I listen to my
So-
gut right now, she's there.
so her
There is
solution
issues in my gut. I'm about
so
to.
her solutions are food-based issues. And she says you should gargle until your eyes water.
What the fuck?
it's always so
What the
extreme.
fuck
You know
is
what I
that?
mean? I understand the arguments of like the dairy, but then she's like, "Shove coffee up your ass," and you're like, "Come on, we can just cool your jets."
No,
a little
it's
bit."
'cause-
Sounds like something we searched on Pornhub more than once. Gargle until your eyes water.
Because no one's gonna buy it if there's not the
that surprise aspect.
yeah.
I feel like Cole's in bed with these people. I feel like
How do
Cole's
you
one of them.
gargle? What I'm trying to understand, how does gargling make your eyes water? Like what?
Gargle until your eyes water.
What the fuck? What the fuck does that mean?
You
Like,
know
like,
what you're doing.
like,
You
I'm
Gargle-
joking?
say a-
Gargle what though?
Water.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was some like fucking weird.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
kombucha.
Use the
Yeah.
coffee in them.
Yeah, some weird shit.
And yeah. Dry skin brushing, she also recommends that.
I like how it gets kind of mild towards the end. It's like, oh, so
Yeah.
you can meditate. You're like, gargle, do you fucking try?
Yeah.
Put coffee up your ass.
What is dry? What is
Maybe
what is?
treat
Yeah,
yourself.
what's
what is
dry,
dry
skin,
skin
brushing?
brushing?
I don't know.
Do you even read the book anymore? Do you just?
I mean, she doesn't
I think
explain what
Cole-
it is. She assumes I know what it is.
I feel like you've gotten depressed as we've done the podcast. You're just like, I don't know
I do
anymore.
feel
And Cole's
bad
got
that
like a
you-
loaded
I do
revolver
feel
that
bad
he stares
that-
at.
I feel bad that you have to be the basically the vector for bullshit. So
Yeah,
you have to say like,
This
what the
book-
fuck does that mean, Cole? And he's like,
Wait, can
this
you look
book's,
up-
This
can you look-
book's 350 pages, and you want me to look up everything that I don't know also?
I'm doing it for the 600 listeners a week for the podcast. Would like to know more about the book, and I'm telling you, you're half it. Are you okay, Cole?
Why don't
Start
you?
doing like user submissions. Why don't you guys after this episode send us you
They
got
get-
the email, send some submissions of you doing some coffee enemas so we can review them.
That's just me sitting there with the 40 ounce, be like, that's a damn good coffee. It's a
I'm
damn
gonna
good.
Google dry skin brushing.
It's probably just what it sounds like.
Well, what?
Yeah,
does it sound like?
it's
Your
not gonna
skin
be-
I don't know
isn't
what the fuck
wet.
it sounds like.
Your skin isn't wet, and you brush it
with like what, like a comb?
with a brush, like a horse brush.
On your skin?
Horse brush on your skin?
Yeah, I really hate like anyone who would do this shit.
Okay, dry brushing is the juice cleanse of the beauty world. Can you shut the fuck up?
yeah.
Yeah.
That
you
also
used a
didn't.
metaphor to refer to
Dude,
another
this
thing
sounds
that's
like this.
also
I swear to God,
That
this
also
author.
didn't help at all.
The firm bristles of the brush give your skin a thorough exfoliation.
So you use
Yeah,
like a hairbrush on
That's
your
exactly
skin.
what I said, right?
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
hairbrush on your
But-
skin, basically.
I feel like these books
That's
are
all it
taking a
took.
heavy toll. Yeah, we would be brushing.
I wouldn't have to go through insurance to
Have
get
you,
a brush.
have you ever seen a depressed horse?
What is it? What kind of dumb observational comedy is that?
Depressed.
I walk up to him like, why the long face, horse?
Why the long
What's
face?
going on? I feel like that's
how much does it
essentially-
cost for you? You get insurance pay for
Insurance covers mine. I
How much
really
is
get
it?
Insurance. I don't know.
I wish I lived a life.
I don't know because it's like
I know how
free.
much my
insurance
drugs
covers
it? Is
it.
it through your parents or
Yeah, I'm on my
Okay.
dad's insurance.
how much? How much do you think? Like $600 a bottle or some shit?
I don't know. I've had it pretty good. I'll
Do
say
you,
that.
do you just take little pills of money? Like, are they just shredding up $100
yeah,
bills
exactly.
and just supplement?
No. One time I didn't have my.
Does it work for the most part?
One time
Like,
my dad didn't meet the deductible. It was like $25. Like it's not.
does it work for the most part like the whole time, or do you have like some weeks where it just doesn't work? Or?
Yeah. No, there's. I mean, it's not like.
Do you think
Here's the
you,
thing.
you
I don't.
could get your coffee enemas under insurance?
Wait. So do
Have
I have
you-
to do a coffee enema?
No,
Actually,
No,
yeah.
no. You, I mean, you can for yourself, but you don't have to do it.
I mean, we'd appreciate.
I
it
do
if you
love the
sent, like, a
pod, but I
directory.
don't know.
And-
Yeah,
yeah.
it's Google Drive works, email,
Yeah.
YouTube, whatever you want to use.
Whenever you were
Um,
depressed, instead of like the ice pack they put on your head, did your dad just put a little pouch of gold on? And then you sit out there and you're like, oh, yes.
Yeah. No, it's not. I don't know. Insurance covers my and
Can you
but here's
imagine
the thing.
going
It
to
doesn't.
insurance and being like, my coffee enemas cure my depression? And they're like, we're
Yeah.
putting you in a psych ward.
But
Get outta here.
the thing is like if you have like a really traumatic event like death or divorce or something, it's not gonna not make you sad. It just makes you less like if you are a big
Extreme.
overreactor,
Yeah.
right? It would make you more leveled. But it's not like you're on Xanax where you're like,
The
yeah, man,
antidepressants do
nothing
this.
matters.
So what I'm saying is like when I say like off weeks, like so you take it right now, right? Like regular, like
Yes.
once a day.
Mhm.
Okay, so is it a thing? So you feel better, obviously, than when
Yeah.
you're depressed.
Except for-
So is there like
He's like,
days?
I need extra
So is there
doses.
days where
Yeah.
you take it and it just like doesn't work and you're still depressed, or does it work like? for the most
No,
part
it's like
every
I don't
single
even
time?
think about it because it's
Okay.
not because it's like constantly in your system. So it's not like you take Xanax and then you're like, oh, I'm coming down, right? Like,
Yeah.
You know when it's in you and you know when you're coming down. Antidepressants, you feel normal. So when you take them, it's not the only time I know when I haven't taken them is like the other day I forgot to take them at night and I woke up with like these. Have you ever had zaps before? Do you know what those are?
brain zaps.
Yes,
What is
they're like
zaps?
these electrical pulses, and
When
they're
you
like
stop taking antidepressants.
it's like a withdrawal
Yeah,
symptom.
you start. There's literally
I feel like you're going crazy.
a re-up in electricity.
hurts, or-
No, there's a re-up in electricity, like activity in your brain, and you start going brain zaps. You know, and nothing makes you feel
Yeah.
crazier than going like, you know. And then
Yeah,
it's like
it's like an you could feel them in your hands. It feels like kind of getting the
I used
chills,
to know a
but
comic who did
milder.
a great bit about like nothing makes people think you're more crazy than if you're at a bus stop. You see, go like that. It's like, what's
Yeah.
going on? Just brain zaps.
You've had
Just
twitches
brain
before?
zaps, huh?
You've had twitches?
Twitching right now.
Yeah. No, yeah,
Before, but the entire podcast.
Yeah, no, you don't feel like a calm down from it. It's just you feel normal. Do you know what I mean? So it's not.
That's
It's
one
not
of
like a
her
normal
reasons why she says you shouldn't be on
I don't understand
antidepressants.
what the high is. What's the?
There's no
Not
high.
it's not a
I'm just-
recreational drug.
It's weird. You might like one time. Actually, this is when the antidepressants I'm on now first started working. Like the day I took them because it is it's an SSRI if you know what that is, but it's also like works on.
serotonin uptake inhibitor.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
layman.
yeah, and norepinephrine, so it works like
Doctor-
both
Dr. Phil
chemicals.
Adam check on
Oh, I've been googling antidepressants
Oh,
for
yeah.
a long time. I'm an
no-
expert. I'm an MD.
It wasn't a placebo because I was like, I feel really good, like happier, and then I was like, oh, I started a new medicine. I've always been on medicine, so like changing wasn't. It took me like 7 years.
I think the misconception is that like people think like, well, you're just gonna be a slave that's like permanently happy. It would get someone that's extremely mentally ill to be at the same stable place you would ideally be in, where you can cope with the ups and downs.
Yeah, no,
of life.
mine was like, oh, I was off my medicine when I was
Do
hospitalized.
you think you'll
and
take them for the rest of your life?
That's what I'm. I mean, Kelly could.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Not, I did until I read this book, and now I think we're good.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, would you be willing to take them for the rest of your life, like every day?
I
do you
don't
think there's, like, a point where
I've
you're
been
gonna,
thinking about that recently.
where you're
'cause
gonna try to, like, get
I'm
off?
so used to it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so ingrained. I've been taking
You
them
want to
forever.
swap? You want to get off and just give them to me?
But if
we
they
should do
work,
like you know like the
Yeah.
white, you
what
know
I'm
white
saying is, if
swap? We
they
should do
work, why
psyche
would you
swap.
want to? if
Where
they-
I'm on Prozac for a week, you're off.
If they work,
Right.
why would you want to? Because you said they work, right? Do you have
Right.
like negative?
So the counteract to that is like just like they don't. I don't think there's enough research that says. I mean, Kelly might have a inclination about it, but I don't think there's enough research that says what it does for your body long
Do you
term,
think if
and
you
that's what
take-
I'm afraid of.
Take 'em for like 30 years.
Yeah, I don't know it, but you know how people are like, this causes cancer. Everything causes cancer at this point. It's
Yeah.
Like I don't, unless smoking cigarettes.
think,
you should avoid that. But
Yeah, I think Kelly preys on those insecurities that you have and that other people might have about antidepressants.
because it's a long term thing.
Yeah, it's a long-term
Yeah.
thing. You kind of feel probably like a drug addict a little bit taking pills almost every day.
It's not that big of a deal. But
I didn't until
yeah, to take pills ain't that hard. You don't
Yeah.
have to smash anything up.
I didn't feel that way until you said it. But
Yeah.
But I mean, she'll put that in your mind when you read this
Well,
book.
I'd feel weirder if I was
Right,
shoving coffee up my ass.
Yeah.
How do you feel? That's
but
not even a real
Right,
drug.
I'm
and
not
so
saying
that's-
you're a drug addict, but that's what she wants you to feel like. after
okay, so
reading
here's
this.
my question: if
Yeah, when you,
So
you get a little
essentially-
sad and you crush it up and snort it.
essentially what I don't get the difference is if a pill is altering your mind, and then a substance like a coffee enema is also
It's altering your
mind.
gut.
whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta-
Whoa,
you gotta
there's
remember-
a line there. Don't you dare cross
Well,
it.
it makes because I guess to
There's
these,
nothing
to these
wrong-
people to
to
them.
her,
it's like,
Right.
there's
that
nothing
feels
wrong
more
with
like
your mind.
closer
Okay,
to-
so let's say
like
Steve,
body shit
right?
feels closer to like nature than brain shit. I guess is what they're saying, right?
Okay, right.
So the end, she ties
but
it
in
all
the
back.
end, the end goal is you're still
But
feeling
to
it in
them,
a way.
they're saying like, well, that's like the same reason you have the people who are like, well, weed's not a drug, yada yada, because they're like, well,
Totally.
this is
Also,
like
heroin comes from
Right.
the plant and
It's not
cocaine.
simple.
It's also the dumbest.
That's
Also,
what
you know
I'm
what
saying,
comes
people-
from nature? Rape. So I don't know. Stairs?
Not where I was going with that.
But I hate when people are like, "Oh, nature's great. Watch what cheetahs do. Are they fun? Great.
We're gonna almost
Animals
almost
have lived
any-
a life of terror."
Any topic could just launch you into a rant. You're like, and milk, you're like, let's talk about fucking milk. Fucking milk. You'll talk about, you know what else comes from milk? Rape. You know what I'm talking about?
Closing thoughts of her book, she ties this onto feminism. Yeah.
Drew just says
Yeah.
She says, drugs, science, and medicine are
We're
a,
talking about mental illness.
are a paternalistic system that seeks to create fear and control by coercion and undermining a woman's own internal voice by suggesting that science has cracked the code to the human condition.
Yeah, but yes.
Wait, so she's
So
saying,
Well,
Sci-
so
but
but I didn't understand what she said. So she's for or against feminism?
No, she wants a new kind of feminism where women listen to their own guts and women
follow your feelings instead
talk
of
to each
literal
other.
facts.
Yeah.
Which is, I can tell you a lot of women doing that already in arguments.
yeah.
So,
Book written by everyone I've ever dated. I guess.
yeah. So she's ties the antidepressants into the patriarchy and science.
I'm about to have a panic attack.
No, so
I'm about to. You
So-
antidepressants right now.
I think because I've heard this argument too, where like I think it's the general argument of like, okay, if a woman needs antidepressants or a woman needs birth control, it shouldn't be created by a male, which makes sense because it's like Okay, it goes in-
What is that?
it goes into
birth
the whole argument of
control-
like, oh, birth control was created by male or like regulated by men, which doesn't make sense because it's a woman. It's the whole thing where like you shouldn't be able to write a book about depression if you've never experienced any type of. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like,
but that's an opinionated book versus like a pill or a drug that is just like a chemical.
I mean, there's
put two,
a
Yeah.
there's
put
a
two
right.
molecules
there's a
together,
lot of
now they
things
I think
wrong
it's the
with
whole
the-
like with women
with the
medicine,
pill.
women in medicine. But I don't think it's like I think it's more like the fact that there's maybe male psychiatrists so they don't relate to a woman
Okay.
like well enough so that they can
Well, that's a
understand
different
maybe
than-
what's best for them.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
think- but do
different
you
than
think it's
saying
like
the totality of science is wrong because a lot of it was.
Oh
done
yeah,
wrong.
no. I'm
That's
just saying
different than saying objective reality is
right.
false.
Well, because there's a lot of arguments that a lot of black people who go into the doctor's office don't get the same type of healthcare that a white person will because they don't treat them as
Oh yeah, bro.
yeah. And it's the
Raised
same
my
thing.
fist
A lot
for
of
people
things.
who aren't
It's,
watching the YouTube.
yeah, it's the same thing with women in terms of why people are like, well, why are men regulating birth control when they haven't been through that or they're
Speak, Sister Drew.
yeah, just raise your fist. I can't even put my arms above my head yet, but yeah.
So you're part of her new feminist movement of women trusting their
No,
guts?
no. No, so I
I feel like
there's
that's
certain
also
points.
extremely dangerous and misleading to be like you're saying all research if it's done by men is
Right. And that's like it's an extreme again. It's like, oh, of course, eating a healthier diet is going to make you feel better, but that's not the only way to feel better. And that's what she's saying with science. It's like, well, if one male scientist created an antidepressant, it's like, well, fuck science. You know what I mean? She's outlining the whole entire thing.
It's not like women couldn't or shouldn't do that. It's just
Right.
that men had more power, so we're more in a role
Right.
to do research and do,
You're in a position to do it.
yeah. So it's like today probably there will be more women.
Yeah. So this book is, I guess, a sanitized version of her thoughts. I actually went to her blog.
I like how Cole's like I went to the blog and we're like no. Oh.
Yeah.
And then there was a blog post called
It really goes like deep into like South American jungle for these guys.
It's like cutting off with a machete.
Yeah.
Cole, you don't have to. He's like, it's for the pod. Each single tear goes down his eye. I'm like, Cole.
There's a blog post called the monstrous path of righteousness.
I'm ready.
She said, here's a passage from it. She said, I would sit at my daughter's birthday parties, disgusted by parents handing out EpiPens and asthma inhalers to their pizza-eating, juice box guzzling kids.
Jesus.
I
What kind of
long,
weird diatribe is this?
I long for the schadenfreude of a prominent political figure struggling with vaccine injury. Some.
So, wait, can I just stop you there? Okay, listen, I'm deathly allergic to peanuts and EpiPen. So she is saying living is just hurting your life.
Yeah.
I mean, really, this whole book.
Kind of some weird
You know how many
like,
times- I
Hitler
mean,
rant.
Yeah, I've used an EpiPen like 4 or 5 times because I'm cautious, but I'm not like I want to live life and not be like, I can't eat peanut butter. So I've had reactions, and I use an EpiPen. That literally saves my life.
It really sounded like the rant of like these
And also-
kids, these fucking monsters.
Also, an EpiPen is different. I don't see an EpiPen as a vaccine. I see vaccines as like the flu vaccine or like the, you know what I mean, like the hepatitis. I mean, but not.
She
An
hates
EpiPen.
she hates all.
She's sitting
She
watching.
fucking
hates
medicine.
people.
She's
I mean, at a
watching.
certain point,
Yeah,
she's
she
talking
hates the human race. She's sitting here watching parents save their children. She's like, scum.
This was written by like
Cockroaches breeding.
it was literally written by like an alien to like try to destroy humanity. We're like, oh no, so you guys
She should have just wrote a book about abortion.
You know
I
what
mean-
cures the depression if you line up and wait for the spaceships to come conquer the planet?
She says, there were times the truth felt so oppressive I wanted to be dead. I wanted not to have brought children to this corrupt, twisted world where everyone is self-sedated and complicit in evils beyond all imagining.
She should be in prison.
Yeah,
She should be in
She is
fucking
mentally
prison.
ill. She should be on. She's also referring to an EpiPen. She's referring to like
That's so
she's
bad. I
referring to
didn't-
like
yeah.
Tylenol, and she's like the corrupt evils of this world. She's like, "Mom, can I have? I'm sick," and she's like, "No, the planet is sick." Okay,
Don't you guys
you're
have
perfectly
a?
fine. She's like, "Mom, I have a fever. Society
Yeah.
has a fever in the chill."
In her final thing, she talks about arguing with the people like that believe in science and stuff.
Imagine, she's like, "My son has asthma." She's like, "I'm saving him, and I'm saving the planet."
In her bullet list, she has
Like I have-
she has points like you don't need to be right and use logic and reason sparingly.
I can't even fathom how stupid that
Yeah,
is.
what?
Her argument is you shouldn't use things that are argument. Yeah. Well, if you destroy reason, then you can win any argument by this
course.
is the ultimate. This is the ultimate fucking
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Book is written by
This
fucking
is-
Mao Zedong.
She says, I don't need to be right anymore. I simply don't care whether others agree, judge, or even rage against
the
my
end of this book is a
perspectives.
suicide note.
Yeah,
That's- yeah. This is.
It's a fucking manifesto.
It's also it's the tone manifesto. It's like it's not the science you said. It's how you said the science
Shit
to
she
me.
say is like this is the fucking Unabomber
Oh
wrote
my
this
God.
shit.
She ends it with saying, choose what story will be yours.
Modern technology.
That
That's a call to arms. That is a little. That is admissible in court as a call to murder other human beings. Choose what story will be yours.
Her website under credits is just her doing a coffee enema. Like it's just.
And then the final thing I saw a news article, and she said she called the idea that HIV causes AIDS a meme.
explain that to just half of millions of people that have died. Yeah, it's just a cat meme. It's nothing.
God fucking damn it.
Christ.
That's incredible.
We should have
That's
we need to
incredible.
have like a Facebook Live like public book burning of some of the things that we've read. We need to buy all these
HIV?
books and throw them in a pit.
She's on the board of directors for that Goop thing, Gwyneth Paltrow's health empire.
They should be arrested.
And there's gonna
should
be
be
a
put in
Netflix series soon, and she'll probably make some experiences.
We're about three episodes in from just becoming like monster hunters who just go out and
Yeah,
just murder people.
That'd be great. She's like sitting in there, like fucking. She's like lighting incense on fire. The door cracks open, and she's like, "No!" And I'm like, "You knew I'd come. I came for Gwyneth Paltrow. I'll come for you." I'm just pull out my pistol. I'm like, "Science sends its regards," and just shoot her in the fucking.
throwing knives at
Shoot-
Deepak Chopra's fucking face.
Yeah. There's a vaccine for the truth. Punch her in the face.
So did this book get progressively like more aggressive? Like it started out with like you should change your gut, and people were like, "Yeah, I'm on board," and then they're like, "HIV doesn't cause AIDS," and you're like, "What?"
Yeah, it is.
Insane.
Yeah, it's a New York Times bestseller. She's pretty popular.
So we do have a fucked up country.
Yeah, we need
She
to
is
change
right
our
about
society.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
You know,
place where
I'm
you
no
can,
longer on board the whole freedom of
says
speech.
the guy, you can do whatever you want here. You can make it. You want it. Inspiring
Yeah.
is what it is.
We need to start arresting people for ideas. I'm on board. I'm on board North Korea. I need to kick down doors.
Soviets had something right. Not
Yeah,
everybody
I'm just
should
like,
be able to just
that
publish.
is wrong, and you just
publish
punch
a
him in the
fucking-
face.
Do you think you'll take anything from this book with you after you leave here?
My sanity.
Yeah.
Jesus. No.
You have to implement at least 3 ideas. Pick.
Okay. I'd say a better diet is good for health. I've heard that from
Yeah, but
more
that's-
No
credible.
one would argue with
That's
that.
that's where
Right.
everything
That's
starts
also a
from.
fact that
Right.
You
patriarchal
chose,
evil
right?
science came.
So you chose the most mild one. Now choose 2 more.
What if I just like? What if I just the next time I have a peanut butter reaction, look at my EpiPen, and I'm like, do it for Kelly, man. Just do it for.
Just
like,
die.
Yeah.
You're a martyr for the cause. she puts up a Gwyneth Paltrow
Yeah.
CD and she just has a heart attack because
Yeah.
it's like put the EpiPen. You're like, no, the world must know.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. she does.
Before you end the episode, do you have anything to promo or
Yeah,
talk
anything
about?
coming up?
Just undergrad.
Yeah,
Playground.
Talk
go
about
to
that.
undergrad
They
at
don't know what that is. You gotta tell them what that is.
Oh yeah, Playground Theater, 10 p.m. Thursday nights, BYOB. So that's a good. That's
Yeah. Any
that's
plugging?
most
You have any shows
of the
coming up?
attraction.
I got 27th of April, also at 10 p.m. It's on a Saturday. Me, Ben Gerber, Heidi Preston. We're putting on the Murderers Row comedy show. It's gonna be at Juicebox Theater, 10 p.m. Saturday, April 27th in Boys Town. You got 4 comics and then a musical guest. It's gonna be really good. So come out and have a good time.
All right, guys.
$5 gets you in the door and it gets you a drink.
Fuck yeah. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and review, guys.
Oh yeah, thank
All
you.
right.